All right. Good morning, everyone on the East Coast. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast as well. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you guys are, enjoying the start of your weekend. And if you've been keeping track of the promos that we've been putting up, today is the start of Farpoint Con. Um, and as you know, I'm today. I'm not. We're going to be talking a little bit about this year's event as they are made the decision to go virtual. And I do have a couple of team members that will be, helping along the way to talk about this con. So let me introduce each of them. Give me 1 second. First up, I want to bring up Josh. Josh Pritchett. What's going on, Josh? JP.
Morning, Brandon.
All
Morning.
right.
How's it going?
What's going on? All right, and let me bring on my other guest. I'm gonna mute you for a second, or if you want to mute, I'm gonna mute you for a second, Josh. Um, Bring on our next guest. He typically you've probably seen much of his work in terms of the reviews that we have on the Movers and Shakers Unlimited website when it comes to cons and his thoughts on cons. He is our connoisseur. So without further ado, let me introduce Chris Pabon. What's going on, Chris?
Peace among life, true and true. Bienvenidos a todos mis amigos. Bonjour, mes amis de la ciencia ficción. Very happy to be here and to share my thoughts and talk about a con that I've gone to a long time and is dear to my heart, which is Farpoint Con.
All right, awesome, guys. So let's just hit the ground running. Before we hop into like sharing, what's going on with this con, can you, talk about your respective, journeys, so to speak, with this con, because it expands far beyond my experience with this con.
Josh?
Oh, hold on, Josh. Go ahead.
Well, I think the first time I went to Farpoint was in 1995. At that point, Farpoint was being hosted at the Hunt Valley Marriott, which is now the Hunt Valley Wyndham. It was actually in the fall at that time. So, we didn't have as much of to worry about plan around snowstorms and stuff as much as we did back then. That year, the guests of honor were George Takei and Nana Visitor from Deep Space Nine. It was really. I'd been to a couple other cons, but I think Farpoint at that point was the biggest one I'd ever gone to. There were just a lot more events, a lot more panels, a lot more things to see and do. It was very impressive. And I try to make a point of going there regularly. And of course, I was there for part of the infamous '03 convention where the state of Maryland was basically shut down because of a massive winter storm. I managed to leave before everything got closed down, but people who got stuck in the hotel were stuck there until the following Monday or Tuesday. And they had run out of food and other necessities during that time. So that ended up being pretty scary. But from what I heard, a lot of the guests really pitched in and tried to keep people's spirits up and just tried to keep things going for another couple of days. While the state of Maryland tried to get everybody dug out and everybody get home. But I do think that did affect membership for a long time, that, having to plan around, severe snowstorms like that was a real issue. But of course, last year I also, for those of you who don't know, I won the costume contest last year. By dressing as a Creole from the TV show The Orville. So that was a real win. But then, a couple weeks later, everything got shut down. So, but hopefully next year we'll all be in person and get to do this again. So, Chris?
For sure. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, everyone. Well, similar to Josh, I have a long history with Farpoint. I think I began going in 1997. I think the guests then were Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis. And I've been going ever since. It has rotated both time and venue. There was a short while, as Josh referenced, that they were actually held in October. And this it was in February, like it is now. They moved to October for a short time period, and then they moved back to February. And following that vein of moving around, also the venue changed for a few years because they had problems with the current location at Hunt Valley. And so they moved to Timonium, which is just a few blocks away. And one of the benefits of that hotel was a huge atrium where once you walked in, you kind of could see how much Farpoint was. And then they moved back about 4 years ago to the Hunt Valley. And while they are a small con, usually they only have 2 to 3 guests, but they bring in some really great, really great guests. About maybe 3 years ago, I was with Mr. Gus himself, Giancarlo Esposito. This was before The Mandalorian. Now I imagine it'd be very hard to get a guest of his caliber. Then they've had guests from The Walking Dead before they made it really big. So I have to give them kudos that they really can identify people before they hit it big and before they start hitting the major con circuits. So the other thing I want to mention about them is that you will not find a harder working membership to promote their con. All throughout the year, they are at every single con in the area with their table, promoting their con. I really want to emphasize they don't have a large backing, let's say that's an awesome con that's local, but they pound the pavement to let people know about their con, and they get the people there. And this year, of course, they've gone virtual. Last year, they were the last con I attended during the year. After that, everything was shut down. And this year, they made the point of going virtual, which I think will work for them. We're seeing people already show up. The con doesn't start until 11. But they have they're a small con, but they pack a mighty punch because they have a dedicated membership.
Definitely. So with that being said, I feel that is a perfect time to kind of hop into the fact that it is virtual. But before I do that, I know we were talking about stories and our history. I actually was introduced, which is why I have you guys on. I was introduced to this con by you all because I know that you guys are, deeply, ingrained into Star Trek and the lore of Star Trek. And, I'll admit I'm more of a casual, Trekkie versus, someone who knows all the various, ins and outs of details. I could probably do it for some other fandoms, but I would definitely say I am not at the level of you guys. You guys far exceed, my knowledge when it comes to Star Trek. But still, with that being said, I'm always, on the lookout and always open to checking out, new cons. And I want to say the first time, I would have to backtrack. I want to say it was either 2017 or 2016 was my first Farpoint Con. And it was a nice change of pace because a lot of the cons that I attend are like these huge undertakings, and it's as fun as they can be. Sometimes they can be a little stressful because there's just so much going on, and it was a good change of pace to go to a con that was a little more relaxed, a little more casual, and kind of similar in the same vein as, I know we're not talking about that con now, but in a similar vein as perhaps like Dragon Con, that whole dynamic of having a con that is at a hotel and you're completely, encompassed within, that show the entire time. A lot of times if it's a different other cons that I've attended, while they do have a huge presence, don't get me wrong, it's a different dynamic when you're at a con where they are you're sharing that venue space that you are the venue that you're staying at is the same space that you are sharing that con experience versus physically leaving the place that you're attending. So there's something to be said about that. So with that being said, as I said, this year they're having a virtual edition to this con, and I thought it would be cool to check out, this new platform. So for those of you that are aware out there, they on their website, and I will share it. So give me 1 second. Take us off screen for a second. They have a platform that they're doing with GatherTown, I understand. So let me pull that up for you guys. All right, so I'm here at the website now. But as I said, they have the Gather link that they've shared with us to access the con in and of itself. Let me click it. All right, and I will unshare this for a moment so that way, just for privacy's sake, and then I will reshare. But while I put before I put the reshare it, guys, can you tell me some of the things that you're hoping to see from this virtual con?
Well, I will kick off with something because I want to touch back on something that Josh said about the snowstorms. And one of the positives about the virtual con is that we don't have to worry about getting stuck in a snowstorm. 2003, I was there, and we had another snowstorm. I think it was, Josh, you might remember this, 6 or 7 years ago, where it was a bit of a white knuckle drive back home. But as we get used to the new normal, where I think more virtual cons will become the normal, this not only allows you to participate of the con in the comforts of your own home, but also sidestep sometimes when Mother Nature doesn't want to cooperate with you.
Absolutely. All right, so I am signed in. Let me reshare it. So the platform is pretty interesting. It's cool in that it gives us a look of a feel of the venue itself. What is it? I'm brain farting. This is bad. It's Hunt Valley, right, guys?
It's the Hunt Valley Inn.
Yeah, Hunt Valley Inn. So you, just as you're seeing here, you're given an avatar, and the avatar allows you to move around in the venue space, and you can actually, just like as you would in the actual space, which is pretty cool. Almost like, I guess you can say, like a 16-bit game. You can move around in the physical venue space of the con where we would normally have it. You can go into each of the salons, which is what you have for the panels themselves. There is a feature, if you guys look here, I don't know if my arrow is showing, but like here in the blacked out spot, you can actually make your video and your speaker available, so that way you kind of still get the feel of the con experience of people conversing with each other. If you're near someone, you can chat with them. So it's pretty cool. So let me go up, and it actually takes you to the top floor. So all of this is kind of surreal, or a lot of times people will probably say that they'll have deja vu, because I recognize many of these places that I have hung out at this hotel. So it's pretty cool that you can actually still hang out there.
Brandon, I'm seeing the brick represented in the images, and it's just like the Hunt Valley.
So, all right. And then I was going to say, before I unshare, another cool thing is that you have a chat feature here. I'm not going to leave it up too long because I don't want to like make it visible for all the people that are here. I'll just do it temporarily. Is that it gives you a listing of people that are in attendance currently. So just initial thoughts, guys. What are your thoughts on this platform in and of itself?
Josh, please go first.
I'll leave it up to you guys. Let me see if. Hold on 1 sec. Let me switch over to him. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I mean, it seems okay. I think it's interesting. Is there any way we could go into one of the rooms where there's a panel being held?
Sure. So let me go downstairs. Because for those of you that are not aware, for this venue, the panels typically happen downstairs. Every once in a while, you'll have them happen on the regular floor, but at least some of the bigger ones, they happen downstairs. Let me see. Yes. Oh, whoops. It looks like I've entered the green room. Let me back out of here.
As with any new program, when we're using it for the first time, there will be some occasional entrances into the green room.
Yes.
So
All right.
go
So
back
here we
to
go.
the
Lower level. Lower level. There we go. Okay. All right. So we do have a couple of folks here in attendance. So let me see. So yeah. So you can actually click on. If you go close enough to a salon, you can click on it, and if you press X, it will pull up. Actually, let me leave that. Go to a different one that's empty.
Yeah, Brian, I think the programming might actually start at 11, so I'm not sure if the
Yeah, it's not going to be available as of yet, but I just wanted to
Yeah.
give people a feel. So like you can actually go here, and you can click X, and you can register. It'll give you a breakdown when you click the letter X of the programming in that particular space. Just as you would if you were physically there, like as if you're looking at the signage of what's there on the programming for that day, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so like I would definitely say I do like the kind of what's the word? Kind of the old fashioned setup. I'm getting some like flashbacks of like RPGs with like a Nintendo or a Genesis in going through this. But the thing that's cool is that it's still, even though it can't really replace the physical feel of being at the con, it's still cool to kind of get a feel of the space that you would normally be in for this event, and still have an idea of what the con is about and what you would experience if it was happening live. So let me unshare it. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, what are your just briefly on all those things that they have for the setup? What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's okay. I personally, I'm looking forward to actually being in a room with other people, talking, participating in person, with these sorts of and doing these things. But I think for this year, for the time being, yeah, it's pretty cool. And plus, if you've got somebody who, okay, cannot come to either Farpoint or its fellow convention, surely this certainly does provide an alternative. I mean, if they're, video game or tech savvy, yeah, this could probably work.
Chris?
I love it. Let me explain why. Because I was deeply concerned that we might not have a Farpoint this year, because already we're having some examples of cons that barely squeezed in last year, such as KatsuCon, that would have normally come up again for this year, and they've had to cancel. So I am very happy that, first of all, Farpoint made it again. It's here. And as you mentioned, there's a part of me that used to play the Nintendos and the Segas, that I'm feeling a throwback warm feeling about the feel of the virtual world. I mean, I really like it, and I also think it's a bit of a nod that I think generation wise we're beginning to see sort of like people attend cons. There's some of us for a long time, as we've mentioned, like 97. We've been attending PowerPoint a long time, so we can there's a bit of a nostalgia factor that plays in with the way they're representing this, which appeals to the generation, which again, shout out to Farpoint that they know they're playing to the people who attend. And I like the setup, as I mentioned earlier. Even the brick feels like I am in the Hunt Valley right now. And those are the exact same rooms, and those are the exact same layout. So some thought was put into this, because they could have just put up something generic, but no, they took the time and care to make an actual representation of the hotel site, down to us having to go downstairs to the rooms. So I'm really psyched about this. And I like this model because, as Josh kind of mentioned, you don't necessarily need to be in the area now to go to Farpoint. Like if you were someone who went to Farpoint in the 2000s, and let's say you moved to New York or some other place for work or family reasons, and you want to go back, now you can. So in a sense, the new normal, what is it going to look like? I think it's going to look like a hybrid of this, where you'll have people who, like Josh, who want to go there, want to be in person. And then for those who can't because they've moved away or whatever circumstances, they might still be able to attend virtually. So I think this is the start of what might be a hybrid model for next year. But very happy to see that Farpoint is here. And, it took some guts to try out this model because they've never done this before. So, again, Farpoint, small con that packs a big punch.
Let's see. Hold on. Oh, am I muted? Okay, hold on 1 second. All right, there we go. Oh gosh.
And Josh, your krill from last year was pretty darn good. I'm glad you won. Although for the people viewing, when I first saw Jaws, I made a mistake because his character was from the Orville, and I thought he was a Jem'Hadar. So that was like my initial bad. Oh.
All right, let me get out of it. All right, here we go. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, we're having some initial issues with unmuting, but no, I absolutely agree with you, Chris. I definitely like the setup of them giving us a feel of the venue for sure. The fact that they have shown that it's possible to do this with Farpoint is already giving me ideas of what can be done with other cons. So it even though it will probably be super involved, like say if we don't, and it's not guaranteed at this point, but say if we don't have a Dragon Con, for example, it would be cool to have as expansive as it is of being in all those hotels for all of that programming. It would still be cool to be able to kind of pseudo live out being in that space based on the schematic that they would have for that for each of those hotels. I don't know, Josh. What do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said before, certainly this, if you can't, for some reason in the future, be able to attend a convention in person, this is a good alternative. But like I said, I mean, I don't want to give up on actually physically going to a convention, whether it's Farpoint, Shore Leave, Dragon Con, AwesomeCon, whatever. I want to, because part of the experience for me is actually being around people and enjoying other people's company. That said, this is pretty cool. To be able to, sort of, treat the video game. Treat the convention like a sort of a video game. You go from room to room and you check out the panels and you see if your friends are there. I noticed one of our mutual friends was actually in the bar, which is kind of normal for him.
Shout out to Johnny Hunter.
No comment.
Yes. So, Johnny was there and, hanging out, which is cool. But, it's a lot of fun. It's cool. It's something new, and I'm glad they're trying it out so people can still try to commune. Have the convention atmosphere, even if we can't be together right now.
Definitely. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, thanks, Brandon. Let me address something that can be a potential elephant in the room, and I'll just start off by saying I'm in favor of it. Moving forward, let's say to 22, if we decide to go with the hybrid model, putting on cons does imply financial resources allocated towards it. And, if we may see a future with paywalls to access the con, and I would be okay with this because, you know, it takes money for the organizers to put these things together. And now that we've seen this type of virtual model is possible, I expect that much like newspapers that first were free and now some majority of them are behind firewalls, that, you know, I would pay a small amount to access beyond the firewall to partake.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that's cool about this too is, you know, unlike many of the other cons that we might have experienced this year, you know, don't get me wrong, while the programming has been great and some of the things, the announcements and things that have come out of it, the effort, as you said, Chris, that was placed into making, you know, this model
Yes.
is, even though it's something that we, many of us might have seen before, maybe like with Zoom, where, you know, if we're thinking of it on its most basic terms, that the main model floor is your main room, and you know, each of the panel rooms are what your meeting rooms. Still, just the fact that you're kind of putting this spin. You're putting this spin on the con experience, and making that little extra effort, versus they could have easily just done what a lot of cons have been doing and just play stuff on YouTube, or they could have just had, you know, here's a link, you know, here's some programming, you could just go right to this programming, and like made it kind of very uniform and you know, by the numbers. I'm impressed that, you know, with the this con, which is, as I said, you know, doesn't you know, boast the resources of, you know, many of the household name cons, was is pulling this off, where you expect something like this from, you know, their contemporaries. So there's definitely something to be said about that. So right now it is 11:05. So if you guys like, we can, you know, try to check out a panel and see how it's going. And I'll share it with you all. Is there a particular one that you guys were interested in going to? I'll leave it up to you guys.
Well, I'm interested at TV and movie reboots, but sadly that's at 1 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. I mean,
and I was gonna say, while they are figuring it out, guys, for those of you that are watching, I'm gonna mute you guys just temporarily for a second, guys. For those of you that are watching, and I was gonna say, guys, once you guys decide, just send it to me in the chat which ones you want to choose, and I'll share it. All right, but yeah, for those of you that are watching, guys, you know, let us know, you know, where you guys currently are now, where you guys are watching from, how you're enjoying, you know, the con right now, and yeah, we're going to be streaming just for a little bit, just talking about the con and experiencing some of the programming. But yeah, give us a shout out for those of you that are up and watching. And I will continue to run this, you know, just for, you know, a little bit. But yeah, drop us some comments. Let me know what you guys are excited about, all that jazz. Okay. All right. So it looks like we're doing Discovery. I'm gonna unmute you guys. Go ahead. So which ones you guys decide? Discovery?
Yeah, anything with Discovery.
Discovery. Okay. All right. Cool. So give me 1 second. So I'll leave it up to you guys. You know, if you guys wanted to talk about some of the other things that you guys are expecting from this con, while I pull up the share screen.
Sure.
Chris, you go ahead.
So I am looking forward to two things today, which is the TV and movie reboots, as well as I'm looking forward to the John and Bernita Friedrichs talk. For people who go into the rooms, as Brandon was mentioning, you have to actually register for the room. But John and Bonita actually visited together, their husband and wife. I think, Josh, is it about 4 years or 3 years ago that they were here? Do you remember?
I don't know, maybe 3 years. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Time definitely is blending together these days.
Yeah.
I barely know it's Saturday. Um, and that's only because we're doing this. So they were a delightful couple, and of course, John Billingsley holds a particular place in my heart because I love Dr. Phlox and Enterprise. You know, I like this role in True Blood as well, but Enterprise is his role that is close to me. So I look forward to those two things today. Josh, what are you looking forward to today?
Just been checking this thing out while, you know, we've been just chatting. So I might check out some of the different rooms and things.
Okay, guys, so it should be shared now. Let me pull it up. I apologize, guys. You might be hearing a little sound because we do have some folks that are using video. So let me bring it over. All right, so I'm going to turn off all of our videos. Okay, but feel free if you have any comments because we are not muted. All right, here we go. All right, so as you can see, you probably were hearing some conversation, but that's only because, as I said, you have that feature to be able to turn on, I should say, your speaker as well as your video. So, you know, just like as you would have in any given con experience, you know, you're walking around the lobby and you have a whole bunch of folks that are conversing, you know, along the way. So based on where my avatar was, it just so happened that I was in a place where people were speaking to each other in the lobby.
I love it.
So let's see. You guys said Star Trek, right? So that was in the lower lobby. Well, let me see. We're already there. Which salon?
Let me see.
Just let me know.
F.
Did you say F?
F, yeah. F is in Frank.
Okay. All right. Head in there now. Excuse me, sir.
It's just like being there.
All right. So give me a second. Okay. I'm gonna click X. Oh wow. We have all these folks in here.
Those little floating windows, like the captain's appearing.
So I'm gonna mute you guys so that way it's not echoing. All right, guys. So it looks like all right, I went back into the lobby. It looks like they were still trying to iron out some details. So I wanted to get out of the head out of there because it looked like there was a conversation going on of them still trying to iron out the details of everything that they were trying to get going with the panel. I'll keep an eye on it to see if it starts up, and then we will hop back in. But you know, in the meantime, as I said, it was just as you would have in any given, you know, con experience, just that idea of, you know, you can't really replace those instances of running into friends or you know, running into just in general, you know, con fam, people that you know, and there's an opportunity to kind of still, as you saw, still be able to recreate that in some degree by having this platform. So I let me see. I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see if there's any other programming there force it out, keep an eye on it, and see if I could still access it in the meantime. But yeah, go ahead. What were you about to say, Chris?
Rome was not built in a day, and so neither will their platform. So I think we have to be very patient when, even in real life, sometimes the panels don't go out quite on time because of technical difficulties.
For sure.
So if anyone is out there right now trying to access one of these initial 11 a.m. talks, just like we are, and they're encountering some difficulties, please be patient with the people at Farpoint.
Absolutely, absolutely. But let me see. Or is there any outside of that particular panel? Was there anyone that you guys also saw at 11 that might have started up in that time? That we might be able to check out before we head back to that initial panel. And just know, guys, if you guys are checking it out yourself, just make sure you mute yourselves.
Storytelling with new technology.
Yeah. Okay. Which salon, or is it upstairs?
It is Salon A. No, sorry. It is I think it might be upstairs, the tack room.
All right. Stand by. We will head there now.
Seems appropriate given our new means for the con for this year.
Yeah, for sure. I also wanted to see if I remember correctly that they have a gaming room that's normally upstairs, next to the courtyard. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work, when technically we are in it now. So I don't know how they, unless they do, I don't know, a Twitch or a other type of stream for their gaming section.
I want to know if I can order something from the bar and if it'll be delivered here. Think Uber will deliver
That
it
is
here?
that is also true. Let's see. And let me undo these. Here we go. All right. So you said upstairs, right?
Yeah, it says the tack room. But really, I mean, if we can't get into there, I mean, I'm up for any of the other two rooms, just so people viewing us can also experience at the same time as we are.
Okay, sounds good. Josh, I was gonna say, just make sure for what you have for. Actually, I'll chat you. I'll put a chat in the host chat because it's gonna help with the echo that I'm hearing.
Okay.
Oh, wow! It allows you to enter. That's interesting. So as soon as you sit down, you can actually enter a private space. Cool. Okay.
Nice.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Let's see. Wow, this is bad. I've been in this place a million times, and I'm brain farting which direction I'm supposed to be going. It's no, this is the other direction. I'm looking at it from. Should be looking at it
Go
this
left,
way.
yeah. And then I think you want to hang a right.
Oh, yeah, it's this way. Oh no, it's with the rooms, isn't it? It's around the corner with the rooms.
Yeah.
That's right. I should know that. 'Cause there's the pool. Okay.
Are there any people in the pool?
All right. So. Upper.
I may have led us astray with the tack room. We could just go back down to the main room and pick one of the other two rooms.
Yeah. So, because it's normally, correct me if I'm wrong, but it should be in this direction as soon as you pass by, like what the little market or what have you. Like the room should all be in this direction, but that's weird. That's the only thing that doesn't seem the same. But anyway.
For Farpoint 2.0 and 22, they'll fix that.
Okay. Oh, you said Belmont, right? Is that the room?
Let's see. Josh, do you have the schedule up?
No, I don't.
Huh.
Okay.
Let me go
I'll
back.
give you a sec while I'm looking.
Oh, why don't we?
Oh, TAC. I found it. You said TAC, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I apologize. Although I do want to see this. It's Outlander, and I'm a huge Outlander fan. So let's just go in here.
Okay, where is it?
Tack.
Tech. Okay. All right. Going to tech. And let me
And for all
see.
the
Hold on.
Outlander fans out there, I am glad that they're starting to film, but I am also suffering from Outlander.
And before I do that, Josh, I'm gonna send you a quick message, so that way we can not have. There's just a little bit of echo that I'm still hearing. Give me one second.
Okay.
One moment.
And for the Outlander fans out there who need a fix like I do, Stars has just started their new series, Exploring Scotland with Sam. Go ahead and check it. It's every Sunday night.
One sec. All right, guys. So now I'm gonna head over.
For those of you new to Farpoint, this is exactly how it is. We all meander room to room until we find the one that fits just right.
All right. So we said that we were doing TV reboots.
No, but that's at 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the tack room has the Outlander perspective right now, but really we can go to any of the rooms.
Okay.
Everything
So
is.
I wonder. The question is, I wonder if you can hop. If they're trying to say that you can't hop into something that's currently happening, like if you didn't register for it, that's an interesting thing. If you
Oh,
didn't
that could
register
be.
for it in time, like you miss it.
That could be.
That would be a bummer. That would really be a bummer. But let me see.
Especially for people like myself who are continually running late.
Oh no, here we go. Let me see. Press X to join Zoom. Here we go. Because spoilers free retrospective, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it gave us a separate Zoom. So let me share the Zoom with you guys.
Please.
Because it gave me a link for a Zoom.
Step by step process.
Oh wow. So you have to actually put in all your info. Okay. So give me 1 second. Go ahead. I'll give you a couple of seconds to talk while I fill this out really quick. Didn't realize I had to put in this information just to enter the panel room, but go ahead.
We are all learning through your own experience right now.
But yeah, no, I guess I get it to a degree because it allows them to really, kind of document what programming people were responding to, and they can actually document who entered the panel and who didn't attend a panel. Because at least when it's physically there, you don't really need to identify anybody because you can kind of do the eye test and see people there. But here, you physically need the name to know one way or another.
It's a great thing. I'm a big believer in metrics, so this allows us con organizers to see which panels worked and which didn't. So next year, you can either invite the same panelists back or have topics that are similar. So I'm heavy on metrics, so I like this.
Well, I was going to say, what do you think, Josh?
It's I'm kind of out of my depth here. It seems okay. I mean,
Gotcha. All right, 1 sec. Stop sharing.
As an Outlander fan, I'm hoping we can't get in because the room is filled to capacity, and technically there can't fit one more Outlander fan in there.
Uh, I'll take your word for it. I'm not really a fan of the show.
Oh, okay. Well, if you ever have some, not that any of us really have any downtime, but if you ever have any, and I'm curious, Outlander and Stars, it's, you know, it's based on the books. It's just two fabulous leads. It's a great series to watch.
Cool beans. All right, so I'm just loading up the Zoom. Just give it 1 second. Here we go. That's interesting. There are like a whole bunch. I would say that might be one thing that there probably needs to be a more concise way. That would be my only like nitpick. A more concise way to enter a panel. Because like, what if, I mean, a lot of times, just as you said, you enter a panel.
And I find I don't like it, and I want to move to another one.
Yeah. Okay, so let me share it now. And if you guys need to ask me anything or communicate with me, guys, just hit me on a private chat because I'm gonna mute myself. All right, guys. It looks like we were having like a quick audio issue. So I'm gonna try one more thing so that way we can get the audio up and running. Give me one sec, but while I'm doing that, Chris or Josh, I can hand it off to you while I get the kinks up. Go ahead, here, go for it.
Josh, did you hear? I think Picard has finally started filming season 2.
Yes. I think I saw something about that this morning that they were going to start filming. That they had started filming the last couple of days. I know that they have started filming season 4 of Discovery, and that they are about to start shooting Strange New Worlds. Of course, the problem with Picard was that, well, okay, they film in Southern California, which is where Patrick Stewart lives, and because of the uptick in COVID cases, everything had to get shut down again. And of course, Patrick has managed to get both of his shots, so he, at least right now, we think will be okay. We don't know; depends on the variants and things, but it does sound like, yeah, they're moving forward with production, which we can all be very excited about. It's it's taken a while because of different things, and obviously given Patrick's age, I mean he's not sick or anything. He's just he's a lot older. I think they wanted to be very cautious with his health, and but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that's getting started. One other thing, though, I really do hope for season 2, and I mean, it's really nice to see the other cast members, and I am looking forward to LeVar Burton and Geordie LaForge and Guinan and Dr. Crusher making appearances. I hope Picard will be less about, oh, hey, what's this next generation character doing right now? And be more about, okay, these new adventures he and his new crew are on, as they're what they're going to be doing moving forward. What is Picard's new mission? Is he exploring again, or is he looking for something else? Are we going to explore more about the fall of the Romulan Empire and other things?
So when I think of Sir Patrick, I think of him as getting younger by the day. I agree with you that it needs a little bit more focus for the season 2. And I'm just happy that it seems all the series now are beginning to film again. I follow Anson Mount on Instagram, and for those who do, they know he has a beautiful home in Tennessee, and he just announced that he has moved up to Toronto, which is a sign of at least principal photography has begun for Strange New Worlds. The casting may not be complete yet for it, but it's a good sign for all of us as viewers that he's up there to start filming. So I guess he's going to be up there for like the next 8 to 9 months.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And Joss, have you heard the rumors that we might see Captain Jonathan Archer appear in one of the new Star Trek series?
I have seen those over the last couple of days. Yes. I think I would love that. I do hope I hope it's not just a rumor that Scott Bakula is talking to them. I mean the idea that we might actually get to see Admiral Archer. Yes. Coming aboard the Starship Enterprise, and I mean, I'm assuming that Strange New Worlds is going to be taking place after the events of season 2 of Discovery, but I think that there's no reason to say that Captain Archer won't make an appearance, and wish the crew bon voyage, and you know, it would be. I would love that. I really would.
So I think there's maybe some truth to this because I read just yesterday that his current series on CBS, NCIS New Orleans, is ending.
Yes.
This season, which would free up time for him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wrapping up after 7 seasons. I guess. I mean, I never watched it, but I mean, I guess it just didn't have the legs that the regular NCIS TV series has had.
I mean, either that or maybe these days actors are signed to 7-year contracts, and after that, it's either pay them a lot more or in the series.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're gonna give this one more shot.
Perfect.
Okay.
Give me 1 sec.
Not a problem.
All right. But still, with that, I was gonna say I was listening to what you guys were talking about. I think this will probably be a good time, better than any. I'll make an announcement now for those of you that are watching. Is that just as we have been doing, you probably have been noticing that there have been some episode breakdowns and talkbacks on a lot of shows. You probably saw the recent one that we did on Expanse. Don't worry, we will be coming back with that for the final 6th season. But since you guys were on the subject anyway, I'll announce now that we will be also be doing a talkback for Star Trek Discovery as well. So keep an eye on that on when we'll do like the scheduled time weekly for every single episode for not this season currently, but the next season. And then, of course, as you guys already know, we already have American Gods going, and we may be doing a Marvel show that is upcoming. That's all I will say for right now, that we will also do a episode by episode review of. It won't be for WandaVision, but it will be for one of the still yet to air series. But keep an eye out on that.
Perfect.
Okay.
And a shout out for people, again, as Brandon mentioned, for people, end of the year on the juice, come and join us and be on the juice with my co-host,
Absolutely.
Michael, and who, big shout out to him as well, who runs a Facebook group dedicated to the Expanse.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get this show on the road, guys. And thankfully, I guess you could say we are kind of acting as your guinea pigs of navigating through navigating through this platform. As I said, no platform is perfect, but overall,
we navigated, so you know how to.
Yeah, everything has been been pretty good. Okay. All right, so I'm shared some other type of way. So let's see if this ends up working a little better.
If you see me moving my head in a strange way, it's just so I'm making sure that my computer's not freezing up.
Okay, no worries.
I'm not having a fit.
You're not like, no, that's terrible. No, I don't like this platform.
All right, so it should be popping up right about now. Okay. All right, and it looks like they're recording all the panels, so I guess it's a way for them to keep track of the content that they are doing. So let me do this now. Okay, hold on. Okay.
So for all the people who love Trek like Josh and I do, all the Trek series are in production. We just have to be patient, but our patience will pay off at the end of the year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about now, guys?
What's the name? Who's the cat?
That's so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not thinking of any. Am I frozen again? Oh, good.
I'm going to send you guys out.
White Sow. Were there any other pigs?
No, not really.
Wow. And I know there's a bunch of horses, but I think Gideon was the only one that was named.
Let's see. Well, Claire had Judas.
Oh.
That's the horse that threw her last season
Oops.
when he got scared by lightning.
Oh,
Yep.
we gotta cast. We haven't cast him then.
No, we haven't cast him. Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
But let's see. So season 6 is going to have a lot of, I mean, even more conflict because we're now really getting into the crux of the beginning of the Revolutionary War.
Right. Right.
So that's going to be very interesting.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to that.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
Yeah. And I do wish that the rest of the seasons were like season 1, where they had 16 episodes, where they could really expand on the story and tell the story in such great detail. Because now it's what, 12, 13 episodes? No, it's not. It's definitely not 8. It's like 12.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But
Oh,
still,
hold on, for season 6 is going to be 12, 13 episodes. Is that what you just said?
the episodes, they've been like 12 or 13 episodes per
I guess-
season since season
Since the
1.
Right. Okay.
One was the only one that had 16 episodes, and that was cut in half. It was 8. Then they took a break, and they left us with a real cliffhanger. And then they did the other 8 episodes.
Right. Okay. Which, by the way, our awesome producer, who I'm in love with, Ronald D. Moore, is known for doing that. If you're a Battlestar Galactica fan, which
Yeah.
he's and I feel like there's something else that he either co-produced or something.
I know that he was
also-
involved. I know that he was involved with Track.
Yes, but when he was with well, at least with he started with Next Gen, by the way.
Right.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering that. I thought he started with
Yeah.
DS9, but no, you're right. You're right.
He started with Next Gen, and none of those series had the droughts that we've had with
Although
with Outlander.
Now that you reminded me that Ronald D. Moore was part of Trek, the only image that popped into my head was a Klingon wearing a kilt.
Like a foreshadowing to
Yes.
Right.
Worf, how did you come through the stones?
So even though Ron has gone into other projects, he's still going to be overseeing Outlander because that was his baby. He was the one that started this whole thing.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the chat. Okay. Can't see the other comments in chat. Some comments are just going to the panelists.
And
Okay.
guys, I'm hearing some echo. If you can mute
Just checking up
yourselves.
on everybody.
It's a change of pace from the Klingon stormtrooper ballerinas. I love the Henry brothers. I miss seeing them.
Wait, what did you just read? I missed that.
Let's see. Lori wrote, the Henry brothers would do it. It's a change of pace from the Klingon stormtrooper ballerinas.
Oh.
The first time they showed up at a convention dressed like that, I nearly lost it.
I just
Can't you picture Klingons in kilts, though? I think it'd be perfect.
Sure, why not?
I
The
also
Highlanders are very warlike and all about honor.
right. I also love them in those outfits. I think Terry just wrote that. I also, I was telling someone about. I met someone recently who's a not a Trek fan, but a Star Wars fan, and I said, well, I go to these conventions, and they are Trek conventions, but they've now become. There's a lot more than Trek.
Oh
there.
yeah, it's now
right,
multimedia.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the fact that I said, one of my first cons I went to, there were stormtroopers from the neck down, and they were Klingon from the neck up. As far as seeing my first cosplay people, and my friend cracked up. The person I was talking to cracked up. They were like, "I don't know if I could handle it. My brain might explode." So, boy, we have totally gotten off topic. I'm sorry.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. Oops.
Because we're talking about better times when we could actually meet in person.
I know.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so much fun dancing Thriller that one year at Farpoint when it was at the old hotel.
Yep, I remember that.
Hotel.
Yep. I remember that.
Right.
But,
So,
but getting back, it will be interesting to see what they do with the Revolutionary War.
Oh,
How much
yeah,
of it
that's
they
it.
show, and
yeah.
whether they'll pull stuff from.
All right, guys. So we're gonna do a quick hop over to a different panel. We have another request for Klingon cosplay talk. Let me bring you back, guys. All right. And where are we for this new room? See, are you back, Chris? All right, we lost Chris temporarily. I'll give him a chance to get back on. But we're in the cosplay room. What room do we have there for that particular panel?
I don't know. Chris was the one who mentioned that.
Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. Okay. All right. And I'll reshare it.
Hold on a second. What's he doing?
All right, so let me bring up the platform again, and I'll head that way now. Oh, okay. All right. So Chris is going to be joining us in a second. And we will hit up a different panel. Was there one that you saw at 12 o'clock, Josh, that you wanted to check out since we, did Chris's request on Outlander?
No, hang on. Let me see if I can find something here.
In the meantime, I'm going to pull up the panel.
I remember. Right. Right. The ball. Right. Yep.
Hello, sorry. Technical difficulties. I ended up getting kicked out.
Oh dear.
Let's say I lost you there for a second. All right. So we said that, did we agree to a different panel to check out?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, not a problem.
All right. So let me bring it back. But go ahead. I'll leave it to you guys again, and just give me 1 minute so I can pull it back up. So we said, I'm just confirming, we said, was it the Klingon cosplay or was it a different one?
No. So I had mentioned that in the Outlander talk, it had subtly veered towards Klingon cosplay in Scottish kilts, more for Jonathan's benefit.
Gotcha. Okay, no worries.
Which
Well,
I think a Klingon and Scottish kilt would be interesting, by the way.
we'll do this then. We'll do what normally happens, just as you said at this con, and we will wander. We will wander around and we will find one. Because I know the big one you guys were talking about doesn't start until, excuse me, doesn't start until 1. So, all right. Okay. 1 moment. I'm gonna reshare it. The wonders of technology, folks. The wonders of technology. So let's see if we got it here. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna turn you guys off for a moment so that way we can see, but you guys are unmuted, just so you're aware.
No.
All right, so let's take a look. Oh, that's weird. It says I have another room open. Got to use it. Oh, they still have me in another room. Interesting. Okay, so I will refresh out of it. Tell you what, I will do that.
Guys, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a moment here, okay? I'm sorry.
No worries. All right, so let me come on back and get this up and running. So yeah, just off the bat, I guess the main thing that I'm noticing is it just needs to be kind of like a definitely a streamlined way for them to be able to navigate in and out of the rooms, because I'm noticing that right off the bat. That's the big thing that I'm noticing right now that is kind of cumbersome in terms of going back and forth. Like it should be something, and maybe I'm just mistaken on in terms of navigating it back and forth, but being able to seamlessly go to a panel, leave a panel, go back into the lobby versus there being additional steps in between. So let me pull it up now. Okay. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that, Chris? On what I was saying?
Well, we're all experiencing this for the first time. Not only there's two audiences. One is the users and the people who set it up. So it's a learning experience for both of us. So it's going to benefit the organizers if we, as people utilizing the system, tell them, hey, this is what's working, this is what's not. I mean, in essence, we're sort of beta testers for the system right now.
Very true.
So,
Very.
I have a lot of patience for them. Ask me again in a couple of hours, maybe. But for now, they're doing this for the first time, and we are experiencing this with them for the first time. And let's keep in mind that you and I have we've done larger cons such as DC Fandom in the virtual format, and they have a lot more resources to allocate to this, so that we are not beta testers, so that when it gets to this stage, it's pretty much done. The Farpoint doesn't have those resources, and many cons don't. So, I advocate patience. This is unknown territory. We are, we are the first users, and as such, there's always going to be, some hiccups and some problems. Stuff that you can plan, and then all of a sudden the plan goes out the window when something doesn't work right. But you adapt and you fix it. So we they will adapt, they will fix this, they'll still make it better for us as users as we provide input. But meantime, yeah, it's going to be a little rocky.
For sure. All right, so I'm back.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. StarQuest is there?
You want me to go back?
Oh my God! I'm scared. Wow. Okay, they're still here.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, okay, and they have each of the tables for each of the events. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Gotcha, gotcha. I've never been to StarQuest, so you have to forgive me.
Um, no, not at all. StarQuest for our viewers is a small con that's organized up in Frederick. Um, it's a small con, and they are there among all the guest tables.
All right. Now the question is are these tables here? That's actually a good talking point. Are all these tables here to represent either a certain organization or a certain company, or is it just there just to be as accurate as possible to the schematic or the look of the hotel itself? Because one could argue maybe you didn't need to have all of these tables here if you didn't need it. So,
well, I think what might have happened, and again, I was not involved with setting this up, was that they probably left these as placeholders for organizations or perhaps vendors who wanted to have a role in the virtual con. And it might just be a simple fact that they didn't find people to fill those tables. But it's easier to have and use if you need it than to not have and then need it. So
oh, Betsy. I know.
it might be
Sorry.
just stakeholders.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Or maybe, I mean, there's another day. Maybe there's space being held there for the additional day. Hello, Betsy. I know who Betsy is. But with that being said, I'm actually now, and I've noticed too, it looks like, so every time you refresh, it looks like they change your quote unquote your avatar. So that would be another suggestion. Maybe you want to once a person is able to sign in, it would be cool if they're able to kind of like customize what their avatar is.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Versus it being selected for you, because maybe you really have a desire to have a specific type of avatar that speaks to you. So that would be a cool way to customize it for those of you, if any of you that put all of this together for the con. That would be a cool feature to have, is to be able to do that. So all right, I'm in the gaming room now. This begs the question. Oh, this looks like okay, board games. I thought it was like the physical. Maybe they don't have it this year. Because like I said, they normally have a actual video game room. And like I said, for those of you that are watching, you can drop down in the comments and let me know one way or another. But yeah, it looks like they don't have a specific gaming room. That's interesting. Oh,
well, I imagine what the tables probably represent is an entrance to like separate breakout rooms in Zoom where you can go play the game. Like I saw Pictionary was there.
Right. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do one quick sweep of the downstairs and see what programming they have in there. But other than that, I think most of it, I'll be honest, that I wanted to see, I've seen in terms of like how the feel of the con is, so to speak. So let me take a look here. What do we have here in Belmont? The Bob and Howie show. Okay. And let's see, Derby. Now they normally have, and correct me if I'm wrong, they normally have like an MCU related panel that if I recall that they have typically. And did I miss? Let me see if they have, unless I'm mistaken, unless they put it on the bottom floor based on what they have set up here. They didn't have the kind of like the strip of vendors, unless I'm mistaken. Did you see that upstairs?
I thought I saw maybe a vendor when we walked by the tables that had all the different like groups, but I wasn't 100% sure. That has caught my eye too, that I haven't seen a separate section for vendors.
Yeah, because they normally have it They normally have like a whole, almost like a bar strip. They have like a whole strip of
Yeah.
of different vendors, and it's normally on the top floor just
And-
before you head downstairs.
And it's also on the top floor in the big breakout room that they have upstairs.
Right, right. So I would say that would be another thing, and maybe that's still happening. Maybe it's just being saved, but it would be cool to have that offered on the initial day, because as I said, it wasn't something that was visible initially. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Let me go to someplace quiet because I don't want to be in a whole other group's conversation. But let me bring Josh back on.
Yeah, he's saying if he can be unmuted.
All right, go ahead, Josh. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The other way, like you were going towards, I guess, where the main ballroom would be for the guest panels.
Oh, you're saying the vendors?
That looked like vendors, but I could be wrong.
You said it was on the bottom floor.
I guess.
Okay, so I will let me turn off your video real quick so that way we can see it fully. So you said that it was on the. You're still unmuted. You said it was upstairs. It was still here downstairs.
Go back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. So I'm going back.
Go back past all the panel rooms.
Okay.
Go on the blue carpet there. Go down. At least I thought these were vendors.
Oh, it could be. Yeah. Actually, yep. Yeah, you're right. It's just they have it set up a little differently. So they basically pulled what we would have upstairs and they brought it downstairs. It looks like, because I'm still downstairs. I haven't gone upstairs yet. So that's interesting that they have that. Okay, so they do have it. All right. I stand corrected. Okay, so we are at 12:01. I was trying to look at some of the programming and see what was on tap for this hour. We can continue on, or we can, cut it off here. But like I said, I just wanted to give a feel of like the panel in and of itself, and I think we definitely did that. Unless you guys wanted to check out one last panel before you go.
No, I'm okay. I mean, I might check back in at the Discovery one with my friend Mary later. I will. I'll let you know. Tomorrow. I think we're talking again tomorrow at 11, right?
Yes, guys. So
I'm sorry.
yes, guys. We will be back here tomorrow at 11. It probably won't be as long now that we kind of already giving you kind of a feel of what to expect from the con in and of itself. But if you wanted to drop by, let us know. As I said, what you guys are doing, what you guys are planning on seeing. For those of you that are watching, feel free. All right. Other than that, is there anything? I'll leave it down to you guys to close us off before I end the stream.
I'd just like to say, folks, please continue to be safe. We've had some recent good news that cases seem to be declining, but as someone who works in healthcare, I can tell you that it's very important that people don't stop wearing masks and don't and just stay safe. We're hopefully coming to an end here in a few months, and then we can all get together and be in the same place for real very soon. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train. So
indeed. And I was gonna say, is anything you able to plug? I was gonna I'll start you off. I guess I would say be on the lookout for a lot of Josh's reviews. There is one that's coming up for Crisis that will be hitting next week that he that he wrote. We also have a interview with the director of that film, the writer and director of that film. So be on the lookout for that. That will also be dropping during the week. Chris, I'll punt it over to you, unless Josh, you had any other additional stuff that you wanted to plug, man.
Other than please keep watching WandaVision, even though I'm not on the show or anything, but it's probably right now I think one of the best things on streaming right now. Chris?
Thank you. Well, I'm going to shamelessly plug my Instagram, as you see on the screen, @VerdiCosplay. One different cosplay a day from all the different cons that I've been to, something to help hold us until we can once again don our cosplays and go to the real cons. And also, I'd like to plug my Flickr, DC Vol 1994, where you will see a lot of the original comic book work I have in my archives, most of them signed. Again, like my Instagram, I post one new comic book every day. And to echo Josh, everyone, yes, please be safe. And I know some of us are hearing that people are getting the vaccine. And a phenomenon is creeping up called vaccine envy. Don't have vaccine envy, because every other person's vaccine means one step closer to herd immunity. So be patient. It's been about a year. I will admit it's been a year since I went into my brick and mortar office. But that just means we're that much closer to the point, as Josh mentioned, that we can all see ourselves once again. And for all the friends I have out there, be prepared for a massive bear hug when I can finally give you a massive bear hug. So all of us, be safe, keep the bubbles tight, keep the masks on, be conscientious of your surroundings, and just a few more months and we're going to make this through it.
I'm going to say, hold on.
Support your local comic book stores and local cons. Shout out to Barbarian Comics, which is my comic book store in Wheaton, Maryland. If you're in Maryland and looking for a great place to shop, Barbarian Comics is the place.
For sure. So with that being said, oh, hold on. Go ahead, Josh.
On that note, I'd like to follow up what Chris said. If you happen to be in the Central Virginia, Charlottesville, Albemarle County area, please come and support Telegraph Comics at Seminole Square. They are a great bunch of folks, and they have a huge, previously owned comic books, new comics, graphic novels, toys, all kinds of cool stuff. So come on down and check them out, please.
All right, outstanding, guys. So with that being said, just to close us off, I want to thank my fellow co-hosts, Josh and Chris, for hopping on and talking about Farpoint Con, its virtual edition. We'll probably be doing a few more of these, so just be on the lookout for them. In the event that we have some more, virtual events, we will more than likely be dissecting them and talking about them and giving our thoughts on them. To close off, I'm your host, Brandon Troy, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. If you liked this live stream, of course, be sure to like and subscribe, as we do many more of these. And as I said, we do many series breakdowns. You can find us on Facebook, right, at Movers and Shakers, Move and Shake UNLTD, on YouTube right now, as you're watching YouTube, Movers Shakers Unlimited, on Twitter at Move and Shake UNLTD, and of course you can find me, Brandon Troy ENT, on Twitter, and Brandon Troy _ENT on Instagram. We have one more show on for you, believe it or not. We have a breakdown of what's happened this week. So this week in review. So you have about an hour for those of you that want to check out some of that news that has dropped over the course of the week. Otherwise, I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.
Bye.